what makes you so interested in physical fitness and health building and all? What drives you on that interest you have?
You want to try it or you want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay. I just know that it's something that we leave a legacy with something. We change people's lives. We change them for the long run. And that's something that we try to work on ourselves. It's a hard thing to do, but at the same time, we try to give these chance early in life to start to be healthy. And this is one way to do it. And if we can train them now, they can go out and they'll continue it the rest of their lives. Looking at Chad, me, all the people that we work with, it's something that will stick with you. I went through that when I got out of Georgia Tech, where I went for about 10 years where I kind of got away from it completely. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? And then got back into it and been doing it ever since.
Wow.
So
I know one time I talked to you guys, you were saying something about it's biblical to have your body be an example of what you are, and so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. She's gonna let me do all this. But I mean, that was one of the things I would love to see in her. I thought about that last night. One of the things I'd like to put up on the wall here is Luke 12:48.
That's what I thought.
You know what that is, right? Too much is given, much is expected, and much more is given, much more is expected.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of fools this whole thing that as these things are given to the guys, there's much more expected of you because you have it now. And the same thing that falls back in my court all the time. You know, I've been blessed with a lot.
Provides a revolving, when they receive something nice like this, when they get out and get their jobs, they'll give back too, help other young people.
We're trying to teach. That's what we're doing. That's all we do. You know, like one of the things I challenged to read Proverbs every day. Today is what, the 6th? So you read Proverbs 6 today. Tomorrow you read Proverbs 7. When you don't have the 30 and 31st, you read those on the last day of the month. But everything that you need to do, whether it's in here, in the business world, is in one of those 31 Proverbs. It will lead and guide you all the way through it. And I promise you, I encourage y'all to do the same thing with the guys in here.
That's exciting, and I know you feel good about it as you establish these centers around, especially South Carolina. We all need these things, and our athletes need them. The coaches testify how much better the athletes are that have nice fitness centers, and what can we say? Just we're grateful.
We've seen where we've changed professors, the teachers of the schools, the athletic department. We get them involved there, and I hope y'all are seeing the same thing here. Now there's a nice place for them to come, that we get Tyler and all these other people and say, okay, there's a time for y'all to come in, especially when they come in here, maybe, come in here when it's tough. Come in here with the players. And it's really stepped up a lot. You always come into these places and you'll learn, whether it's about nutrition, whatever it is, you're going to learn. Again, like I was asking Chad a minute ago, how many GAs does he have here? How many people do we have in here that can teach all the time while this thing's going on? There's a lot to learn because all this is changing every day. This is not something you stand stagnant on today and think that you're going to be able to keep up. So somebody's got to be out learning someplace and bringing it back in here and teaching it. Chad's got his hands full.
Ted, what have you seen in the short time we've had this open, and the attitude of the athletes, and maybe even some recruiters?
Yeah, I think from a recruiting standpoint, it's amazing to see the eyes wide open when they walk through the door, and they see a facility such as this one. I mean, immediately it grabs you right when you come through the door. I think from our current players, there's a sense of gratitude. There's a sense of thankfulness, obviously, for you guys. But there's also a heightened sense of expectation. And it's an expectation not only to grow as an athlete, but to grow as a person. And I think that's one thing that we try to do in here. One thing in the old weight room, that was the one thing. We started every day with a thought. We started every day with a process. And we started every day with, kind of going through some ideas very similar to what you were talking about with Proverbs. And I think that's a great idea. And that's something we'll probably end up using for the spring semester. But we try to focus more so on the mental side than the physical side. And and then we would go about the weights, and then so in here it's kind of the same thing. They walk in and they're blown away by just everything that's in here, from an equipment standpoint in this space, and then it just kind of helps them dial it in a little bit more mentally. And it, goes back to the, I think that's a great idea with the verse on the wall, and I think we're really excited moving forward because the response from finals week and the discretionary period, you would think, like I said earlier, you would think we're in full off-season mode. I mean, we're probably shuffling 200-300 athletes in here throughout the day, and it's something they're coming through on their own. So.
Awesome. That is awesome.
It's been unbelievable.
Well, it's a wonderful opportunity for Charleston Southern, and we thank both of you. And we hope you find this as a home when you're going back and forth. You stop and work out too.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do. We're very proud of what y'all done here. And just looking at the things that have changed to the short period of time that we've been involved with y'all, looking at that building and the things that have just changed around on this campus. Flying in, we actually got to see it from overhead this morning we flew in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And that made it kind of a little special and stuff. So, and was
That's
able to pick
great.
it out real easy and stuff. So, and I'm not that familiar with the area, so it was easy to pick out. So.
That's awesome. That's great.